Hey guys, I'm Ollie and this is going to be my review of the LG G2. With the G3 being on the brink of release, this phone could see heavy discounting, so if you need a new phone then this phone could be an absolute steal. Although it's a year-old phone, it is by absolutely no means outdated and still has specs that compete with the best phones on the market today. So without further ado, let's get into the review. The first thing you'll notice about this phone is its size. Some may think that it's too big, especially those with quite smaller hands, but having quite large hands myself, the phone fits snugly in them and is held in place by a very grippy back. The only problem with the back of the phone, in my opinion, is that fingerprints are annoyingly prevalent on them, as you may have seen in my unboxing. Thankfully, a quick wipe of the back with a damp cloth easily removes these fingerprints. Most of the front of the phone is taken up by the massive screen, which measures in at an enormous 5.2 inches. More on that later. In terms of the look of the phone, most people who see the G2 agree that the design is beautiful, and I'd have to agree. As a fan of simplicity in general, and especially in electronic devices, this phone is as close to perfection as I have seen. The silver highlight around the perimeter of the phone complements the finish on the back, and the sleek lines of the phone make it look like a premium product. The clean aesthetic of the phone is helped by the noticeable lack of buttons cluttering the front and sides, as well as the curved back of the phone, which is defined by the simplistic aluminium finish. The speed of this phone doesn't cease to amaze me. Whether this is because I don't tend to clutter my phones with unnecessary apps or data like others do, or it is the fact that this phone didn't come with as much annoying bloatware as other phones. This phone is absolutely rapid, whether I'm playing games, watching videos, or trying to multitask with a lot of apps open in the background. This is undoubtedly helped by the 2GB of RAM included with the phone, of which around 800MB is available when all foreground apps are closed. The phone also features a Qualcomm quad-core Crate 400 processor, which is clocked at a solid 2.26GHz at stock. In terms of specification, on paper this phone is up there with the best despite being a year old, and it is as capable of running current versions of Android as well as any new phone on the market. The camera on this phone is a brilliant 13.2 megapixels, meaning images are taken at the stunning 4160 by 2340, which is a slightly higher resolution than 4K, meaning that the images taken will look crisp and clear on any monitor, and any pictures look of exceptional quality on the 1080p screen of the phone. The video is also of great quality, striking a great balance between disk space and resolution. At 1080p 60 frames per second, the video looks great on the phone as well as on other playback devices. The included headphones are of very high quality for bundled audio equipment and fit snugly into your ears, with very little sound being audible for non-wearers even at high volumes. Although the bass on the headphones is a tad weak for my personal liking, and this can be altered using the EQ in the audio software, I love the fact that they deliver a comparatively flat sound out of the box, meaning that mid-range sounds not audible when using bass-heavy headphones can be noticed. Perhaps the most remarkable and cool feature about this phone is the included IR blaster that acts as a remote for TVs, sound systems, air conditioning, and most importantly, projectors. Apart from being a great way to make my teachers think they're going mad and convincing local morons that I invented the Watch Dogs app, this is very useful if you're subject to losing things such as remotes, as with a couple of clicks you can sync up the phone to anything that uses an unsecured infrared remote signal. While I joke about the uses this could have if you're bored in school, this is very open to abuse and has the potential to get you into a lot of trouble. In terms of connectivity, this phone features 5GHz Wi-Fi and 4G capabilities out of the box. My plan is with EE, so I can have 4G on my network to utilise this, and coverage is surprisingly good for someone who lives in the middle of nowhere. 5GHz Wi-Fi means that the speeds are faster for Wi-Fi, so it's a nice option for your phone to have faster video streaming, among other things. Onto the screen of the phone. The 5.2-inch 1080p screen is clear and sharp, at a brilliant 424 pixels per inch. To put this into perspective, a Retina iPad has 264 pixels per inch, and a 36-inch 4K TV only has 129 pixels per inch. This makes pictures and video content extra sharp and text clear and easy to read. On the G2, the speakers are located on the bottom of the phone. The built-in speakers are pretty good, with clear sounds at loud volumes, managing to avoid the tinny sounds that some phones succumb to. As for the position of the speakers, I would have preferred to see them on the front of the phone, but I can understand that this would have gone against the design ideas. I think that a good trade-off is for them to be on the bottom of the phone, as this avoids the comical hand clapping motion that some people are forced to make to listen to audio content. Now onto some things about the phone that I didn't find so good. Most of these are personal issues or minor complaints, so please take them with a grain of salt. Firstly, I'm not a fan of the LG keyboard. It's too small for my personal liking, its predictive text system seems pretty nonsensical, and the auto spacing system has just been plain awful for me. The symbol bar is unusable at the same time as the autocorrect system, which makes quick typing for somebody who actually likes to occasionally punctuate their sentences a nightmare. I have also found that the keyboard is easiest to use with my single right thumb, and as I'm left-handed, that's an issue for me personally. However, this will not trouble the right-handed majority. Another issue I have with the keyboard, and one more applicable to most people's use, is that the space is far too close to the home key on the keyboard. Home keys can be rearranged so it would be a different key other than the home key, but I'm used to the home key being in the middle, and my finger would still hit A key, whichever key I changed it to, so that would not eliminate the problem. It's also a pain to not be able to easily adjust the volume or put the phone into sleep when it's flat on a table. There are ways of doing this within the interface itself, but that takes a lot longer to do. This is more of a problem with back buttons in general than a criticism of the phone itself, but I still thought that it would be applicable enough to include. Another personal negative for me is that the slow charging of the phone means that for any significant charging, the phone has to be left charging overnight. This could be because of the charging cable included being subpar, or it could be as a measure to preserve the consistency of the battery in the long term. Nevertheless, it isn't an issue for me because I can leave the phone charging overnight and it will be fully charged when I wake up in the morning. But those with less charging time on their hands or people that want to top up their batteries on the go could be faced with this problem. All of these points considered, I would give the G2 a 9 out of 10 rating overall, and a 10 out of 10 rating for the price point that it's marketed at. For the price I got this phone for, nothing compares to it at all in terms of specs, design and size. And when the LG G3 launches, you should be able to pick up this phone for an even lower price than it is now. There are a couple of slight issues for me personally with this phone, but these are really trivial things compared to the massive amount of positive points for this phone. I hope you found this review informative, and by leaving a like rating and subscribing to my channel, it makes me more likely to receive tech products to review in the future. Thank you for watching.